In a peaceful town surrounded by green fields, there was a busy street known as Market Street. Shops lined both sides of the roads, and every morning the street filled with farmers, workers, students, and families. Among all the shops was a small grocery store called Hassan General Store. It wasn't the biggest shop, it didn't have bright signs or expensive decorations. It had wooden shelves, an old weighing scale, and a simple counter. The owner, Hassan, was a quiet and hard-working man, but there was something special about him. Hassan never cheated his customers. If someone accidentally paid him too much, he returned the money. If his scale showed slightly more than the customer had paid for, he added the difference. If a product had a problem, he told the customer. People trusted him, but Hassan hadn't always understood the value of honesty. He had learned it from his father many years earlier. When Hassan was a young boy, his father Karim sold vegetables at a small marketplace. One morning, an elderly woman came to buy 2 kilograms of potatoes. Karim placed the potatoes on the scale. The weight was slightly below 2 kilograms. Hassan watched carefully. His father added few more potatoes. The scale moved slightly above 2 kilograms. The woman noticed. You gave me more than I paid for. Karim smiled. It is only a few potatoes. But they have value. Karim nodded. They do. But you trust they has greater value. Hassan didn't understand. Later, while walking home, he asked his father why he had given away extra potatoes. Karim replied, Son, business is not only about making money, it is about making sure people can trust you. What if we lose money? He replied, Sometimes you may lose a few coins by being honest. Cream looked at him. He continued, But dishonesty can make you lose something much bigger. What? He replied, Your reputation. Hassan remembered those words for the rest of his life. When Hassan was 16, his father became sick. Hassan had to leave school and find work. He got a great job at a large grocery store owned by a businessman named Farouk. At first, Hassan was happy. The store was large and he learned how a business worked. But one day he noticed something disturbing. The store's weighing scale had been adjusted. Customers thought they were buying 1 kilogram, but they were receiving less. Hassan went to Farouk. Sir, isn't the weight incorrect? Farouk looked at him. Don't worry about him. But customers are paying for a full kilogram. Farouk laughed. Everyone does it. Hassan remembered his father's word. But isn't it wrong? Farouk became serious. If you were to keep your job, don't ask too much questions. Hassan went home that evening feeling uncomfortable. He realized that making dishonest money could be easy, but he also realized something more important. Easy money isn't always good money. After saving money for several months, Hassan decided to open his own shop. He didn't have much. He rented a tiny store on Market Street. He painted the walls himself and repaired the shelves. Above the counter, he placed a written sign, Honest weights, fair prices, your trust matters. His friend Bilal laughed when he saw it. Do you really think a sign will make you successful? Hassan smiled. No, my action will. But the first few weeks were difficult. Customers already had shops they trusted. Sometimes Hassan spent hours sitting behind the counter without selling. Still, he refused to cheat. He knew that if he wanted trust, he had to earn it slowly. One afternoon, a woman named Amina came to buy groceries. She purchased flour, rice, tea, milk, soap. She paid and left. A few minutes later, Hassan money Hassan counted the money. He discovered that Amina had accidentally paid almost twice the amount she owed. He immediately ran outside. Amna, she turned around. He told him that you gave me the more money. Amna was surprised. She said, You could have kept it. Hassan smiled. But it isn't mine. She looked at him for a moment. Then she replied, You are the first shopkeeper I have ever met who actually chased a customer to return the money. Hassan laughed. Perhaps I'm not the first. Maybe some others are doing the same. Amna became a regular customer. Then she told her neighbors about Hassan. Slowly the shop began getting busier. Hassan discovered that honesty could travel from one customer to another. After several years, Hassan's shops was doing well. One day, a supplier offered him a large quantity of cooking oil at a very low price. Hassan examined the product. Why is it so cheap? The supplier smiled. The quality isn't as good. Then he asked him, then why would you sell it to my customers? Most people won't notice. Hassan shook his head. I will notice. The supplier laughed. You could make a lot of money. Hassan replied, maybe, but I would lose something more important. What? My customers' trust. The supplier left. Hassan knew he had turned down a profitable deal, but he felt peaceful. He had chosen his principles over quick money. Hassan eventually hired a young man named Omar. Omar was hardworking but inexperienced. One busy evening, Omar accidentally charged a customer for 10 packets of tea instead of 5. After the customer left, Omar discovered that he made a mistake. He became frightened. Mr. Hassan, I have made a serious mistake. Hassan checked the receipt. How much extra did the customer pay? Omar told him. Then we must return it. But the customer had already left Mr. Hassan. Then he replied, then we'll call him. They contacted the customer. The next morning, the customer came back. Hassan returned with the extra money, and he returned the money to him. The customer smiled. Thank you. Afterward, Hassan told Omar, everyone makes mistakes. Omar nodded. But remember this, making a mistake doesn't destroy trust. Hiding a mistake can. That became one of Omar's most important lessons. One evening, a farmer named Yusuf came into the store. He needed groceries for his family. After choosing rice, flour, lentils, and oil, he counted his money. He was short. Hassan noticed his worried expressions. How much are you missing, sir? Yusuf told him. Hassan said, you can pay me next week. Yusuf refused. I don't want to owe you. Hassan smiled. Then consider it a little help. Yusuf promised to return. A week later, he came back and paid every coin. I promised, Yusuf said. I knew you would. From that day forward, Yusuf became one of Hassan's most loyal customers. Hassan learned that helping someone during a difficult moment could create a relationship that lasted for years. As Hassan's business became successful, not everyone was happy. One day, a rumor spread around town. Someone claimed that Hassan was selling expired products. Customers began asking questions. Hassan was hurt. He could have become angry. Instead, he opened his storage room and invited customers to inspect the area. The customers inspected the area, but they did not find the expired products. He showed them the dates. He showed them his purchase records. Everything was clear. The rumor disappeared. One customer said, we believe you. Hassan replied, thank you, but don't believe me just because you know me. Always check the facts. That sentence made people respect him even more. Hassan understood that honesty wasn't just about asking people to trust you. It was about being willing to prove that you deserved their trust. A large supermarket across the street was opened. It had bright lights, modern shelves, advertisements, and dozens of employees. Hassan became worried. His friend Bilal said, you should lower all your price. I can't. They advertise more. I don't have the budget. Then what will you do? Hassan smiled. I'll keep serving people well. Some customers tried the new supermarket, but many returned to Hassan. One day, the supermarket owner, Tariq, asked Hassan, why do people keep coming back to Little Shop? Hassan smiled. Maybe because they know what to expect. What do you mean? Hassan replied. They know I'll give them the correct weight, fair information, and most honest service. Tariq nodded. He finally understood Hassan's greatest advantage wasn't his shop, it was his reputation. Hassan kept a small notebook beneath his counter. It contained his sales, expenses, debts, savings, and promises. His employee, Omar, once asked, why did you write everything down? Hassan replied, because money disappears when you don't pay attention. He explained that many businesses didn't fall because they earned nothing. They failed because they didn't manage what they earned. Hassan saved a portion of his profits. He maintained emergency service savings. He avoided unnecessary debt. He reinvested some money into the store, and he never spent everything simply because he had earned more that month. His notebook became one of the reasons his business remained stable. One day, a large company offered Hassan a huge supply contract. It could transform his business, but the manager quietly suggested Hassan should give him some money personally to secure the contract. Hassan refused. The manager warned him. He said that without that payment, you won't get the contract. Hassan replied, then I won't get it. He walked away. For several weeks, he regretted this decision, but he didn't change his mind. Later, the company investigated the manager and discovered his dishonest practices. The manager was removed. The company contacted Hassan again. We heard about your refusal. They offered him the contract properly. Hassan accepted. It became one of the most important business opportunities of his life. He had learned that sometimes the right decision doesn't give you an immediate reward, but patience can bring opportunities later. One rainy night, an electrical problem caused a fire in Hassan's original store. The damage was serious. Shelves was destroyed, products were ruined. Hassan stood outside the next morning, staring at the damaged shop. He felt helpless. Then something unexpected happened. Customers began to arriving. Amina brought food, Yusuf brought tools, Omar brought workers, Tariq brought supermarket owner offered financial help. Hassan was shocked. Why are you all helping me? Amna smiled. Because you helped us when you didn't have to. Hassan looked around. For years, he had thought he was building a business. Now he had realized that he had been building something that much larger, a community. Hassan rebuilt the shop. This time, he added safer electrical systems and better storage. He also created a small corner where elderly customers could sit. Above the entrance, he placed a new sign: Fair price, honest waits, trusted service. On opening day, hundreds of customers arrived and came and see his shop. Hassan stood behind the counter and looked around. He remembered the tiny shop he had opened years earlier. He remembered the days without customers. He remembered returning empty handed home. He remembered refusing dishonest suppliers. He remembered the difficult years. He realized that every small decision he contributed to where he stood now. Success had not arrived suddenly. It had built one decision at a time. Hassan's son, Adam, eventually began working in the business. At first, Adam wanted to increase profits quickly. Father, we could change and charge more. Hassan asked, why? Because customers are willing to pay. Hassan smiled. We should charge a fair price, not the highest and price someone will accept. Adam slowly began understanding. Hassan taught him about saving, budgeting, investing in the business, treating employees fairly, and maintaining emergency funds. But his most important lesson was simple: money is a tool. A tool for what? To build a good life. Adam asked, isn't money the goal? Hassan shook his head. No, money is useful, but it shouldn't control your values. Many years later, Hassan opened a store and asked, do you remember me? The old man asked. Hassan smiled. How could I forget? Mr. Rahman took an old receipt from his pocket. I kept it. Hassan looked at it. It was a receipt from Hassan's first year of business. Why did you keep it? Mr. Rahman smiled. Because you treated me honestly when you had no reason to. Hassan became emotional. He realized that the small decision he had made years earlier had stayed in people's memory. He had thought he was simply running a grocery store, but he had actually been creating a legacy.